In one of the central prayers of the High Holy Days, the Unatana Tokef, we say that the actions of tshuva, tefillah, and tzedakah can remove the severity of the decree. Tshuva is the repair we do between ourselves and God and with other people. Tefillah, prayer, we're taking care of that here tonight. And giving tzedakah is something that we can do on our own or as a community. And tonight we have an opportunity to make a powerful impact together. On Rosh Hashanah, our president, Marty Chazen, asked us to give tzedakah to help support TBS. And tonight, we ask you to give tzedakah beyond our own community. We do this because a truly great congregation is not only able to support itself and its own needs, but also works to support others in our community, in Israel, and around the world. Thank you to everyone who brought food tonight that will be donated to the Betsy and Peter Fisher Kosher Food Pantry at JFCS. This is one important act of tzedakah that we have done together. Another way we can give tzedakah this season is by supporting our brothers and sisters in Israel through investing in Israel bonds and donating to the Masorti movement. Purchasing an Israel bond is an investment in Israel, and giving tzedakah to the Masorti movement supports the work of our conservative movement in Israel. And if you did not already receive an Israel bond card at home, we have more of them at a table opposite the gift shop in the lobby. And of course, after the holiday, you can also go to israelbonds.com and masorti.org to buy a bond or to give tzedakah for Masorti. Standing with Israel is so important for our community, and we look forward to many more opportunities as we celebrate Israel's 75th year together this year. Tonight, however, there is another need that I would like to speak with you about. Our shul has a long history of not just supporting Israel, but also Jews around the world in need of help. In the 1970s and 80s, we protested and worked to assist refuseniks in the Soviet Union. In 2000, we worked with the Federation to assist families in Argentina and inspired a member of our congregation to help students with scholarships to Dickinson College and the Jewish Theological Seminary. And this past year, we worked with our friend Jonathan Ornstein, the executive director of the Krakow JCC, to help support Ukrainian refugees. And tonight, we have the opportunity to once again do something for our brothers and sisters around the world. And I'd like to introduce you to two special guests that we have with us this Yom Kippur. My friends, Asa Wamani and Yonatan Katz-Lucato. Asa, Yonatan, come on up here, please. This is Yonatan. This is Asa. Now, Asa and Yonatan are part of the Abad Yudaya Jewish community in Uganda. It is a small but vibrant community. And I met Asa and Yonatan a few years ago at Camp Ramah in the Poconos. Through the Jewish Agency, they came there as staff members. And we kept in touch after that summer, and I've been glad to support their work as Jewish student leaders at the University of Kampala through my tzedakah fund. They have sent me wonderful pictures of students gathered for Passover Seders, Purim celebrations, and Shabbat. You guys really know how to throw a good party. But due to COVID, they were not able to come back to camp the past 2 summers, but this year, they returned as members of sports staff. It was wonderful to reconnect with them. As I did, I learned about what happened to them this past year. I don't know about you, but I had not been paying too much attention to Ugandan politics. But things there are not good. Last year, Uganda's president was elected to his 6th term in office. Many consider him a dictator who has maintained his hold on power through violence, intimidation, and suspect elections. Asa and Yonatan supported the opposition candidate in the last election, and for doing so, they were imprisoned, and they were both very badly abused, physically and emotionally. They were eventually released, and Camp Ramah was able to bring them back to camp this summer. But after the summer, they made the very difficult decision to stay in America and to seek political asylum. It was difficult because their families are still in Uganda, but because of the severe punishments that they anticipated upon their return, they decided to stay. Camp Ramah and the Princeton Jewish Center are helping support Asa and Yonatan, And I've said that we too would like to help. We always do our best to support Jews in need wherever they are. Tonight we can do this by helping my friends and your new friends, Yonatan and Asa. We welcome both of you to TBS, and we are so grateful to have the two of you with us here together tonight. I'd like to invite you to say a few words of welcome for us, if you would. Yonatan? There's not many people I have to tilt my microphone up for.
Rabbi, now you get a challenge. I go to open up your microphone. Shana Tova, members of TBS.
They talk too. It's good.
Yeah. So my name is Yonatan Kas Rukato from the Jewish community of Uganda. It's called Abayudaya. I am 30 years old, and my community is 103 years old. We've been practicing Judaism for 103 years now. So in 2019, we made a sanctuary. But I mean, today is a very nice day. It's Yom Kippur, and we have a very sad story, but because it's Yom Kippur, we wouldn't put people into different emotions of what happened to us. But to be brief, first of all, we are Jews in Uganda, but we are not recognized as Jewish people in Uganda. So many people don't know about us. As well, in Israel, we are not recognized. I mean, the Jewish agency in Israel recognizes our community, but the rabbinate does not. But I mean, it doesn't affect us more because we've been practicing Judaism for 100 years, and we are the fourth generation, and none of us knew about Israel before we got the stronger connection. I mean, we have very wonderful people from the Masorti movement who are fighting so hard to make sure they recognize our community in Israel. And back in Uganda, we've gone through difficulties from the 70s, just the way so many difficulties happened up to the Jewish people around the world every single year. In the 70s, we had a very dictatorial government that didn't want the Jewish people. So we were about 500,000 Jews in Uganda, and now we can't even make 10,000. We can't even make 5,000. We are around 3,000 or 200. I mean 2,500. But all that happened because we had a dictator who never loved the Jews and forced so many people to convert to Islam, to Christianity, and those who refused were persecuted. Many of them were killed, and the community, I mean, almost went down. But because some people were resistant, they kept on practice until the overthrow of this government, and then the next governments didn't have challenges with religion and something like that. So recently, our rabbi, who is an ordained rabbi, ran into office as a member of parliament, and he won, and he was voted by all religions because we don't even make 1% in Uganda. But he was voted by Muslims, by Christians, and so. But because we are a small group, a dictatorial government right now in Uganda does not recognize our community. So even when he invites spiritual leaders from different denominations in the country, he doesn't invite our rabbi. Even when he's a member of parliament, he's not recognized. So at this point, we got inspired by a younger, famous artist in Uganda who knows about the history of the Jewish people around the world. He is Christian, by the way, but I mean, when I met him the first time, he asked me how I knew about Judaism, And I told him I've been practicing Judaism since I was born. And he said, if I was not a strong person in the country, and if I was not a famous person, and if I was not a politician, I would convert into Judaism. But he said, I encourage you, my brothers and sisters, since you're not recognized in this country as Jewish people, come and join us, and we overthrow the dictator, and then my government will recognize you in any way possible. And he invited my rabbi to join his political party. Yeah, and the rabbi bought the idea of joining his political party. But it didn't happen in time because in terms of arrangement for him to join the party officially, he lost his brother, so things turned up down. But we were already inspired and got into serious involvement in politics, supporting him and moving with him up and down, and spreading the gospel of change to so many people of my age, because the current government did not give chances to people of my age to get involved into politics, just because it's a dictatorial government. I know once people of my age get involved into politics, he will get hard time ruling us. But because we got this strong man who never feared all the guns and the money that the government have right now, he encouraged so many people of all religions, of all age, to get involved into the politics of the country. And that's when we got so much involved in it. And the end results, it has been so much difficult for us. We didn't know, because the politics we are doing is in laws according to our constitution. Like, it was our human rights to practice a good politics that we were doing. But because he's a dictator, the only weapon that he has and that he uses is to intimidate, persecute, or do all evil things to the citizens of Uganda, and he does it with impunity. So his son is the commander of the land forces, and takes all the orders from the father to persecute all the people who oppose him. I was kidnapped. I would say, I don't know the right word to use, but I was abducted 2 times, and I was arrested. Official arrest was 1 time, but all of the arrests was on trumped up charges, because I was not produced to any courts of law. They take you to places which are not recognized by anyone. They do whatever they do just to break you down. We reach to an extent of deciding to die, but never to go back, because we thought this is not going to end, and we wanted good things in our country, and the good things that we wanted, we had to work for it to get it. So we got involved because we wanted a better country, and the end result is putting so many people in trouble, including our family members and close friends. And right now, I was released with a police bond on charges of treason, just because my political party has a beret. It's like a cape that we wear on. It's like an identification of our party, but the government says it's a military attire. So when they see you putting it on, they charge you with, they say you killed a soldier. So they say, we need a gun, we need the shoes, we need the combat. Since we have seen you with a beret, that means you have the rest of the belongings to the military. So they charged me with treason, and I was able to escape out of the country. And right now it's very, very tense, because we follow up whatever happening in the country. And the kidnap is, the abduction is so much. Like a few days ago, a group of people putting on, civilian attires keeps on entering in people's houses and picks up all the youth that got involved into politics. And the president was put on record. He said, "I will make sure to finish up the group that opposes me." And yes, he has done that, and he's still doing it with impunity. And what's so much annoying is he does this, and everything is put on camera in most times, but it's weird that the government, like the US government, the European Union, they funded this dictator, and the funds that they give him does not support the people of Uganda for any development, but they buy weapons that terrorize people, that damages people's lives, both physically and emotionally. One of my good friends that we joined with in this party was killed in my eyes. A military truck ran over him like 2 times. They went and came back to make sure they kill him. But because they do this to intimidate anyone that may oppose them. But then we reach it to an extent of to sacrifice ourselves, either to die or not. So when we came here after camp, we decided to keep quiet, not to tell anyone about our story. And it wouldn't be easy for us to work at camp with small kids, most especially when we have feelings like this. So we kept quiet, and some of the things happened to us back home, and people close to us didn't know things happened to us. But because we wanted to keep so many people out of this and to keep them safe, so that's why we kept quiet. And even at camp, we worked with small kids and so many people. And we decided to keep quiet and forget all these kinds of feelings to make sure we do our jobs very well that brought us to do with the kids. That's why we decided to keep quiet. And when camp ended, I told my friend Esau, I was very, very frustrated because we didn't know what to do next. And our good friend, who is also the lawyer of our political party, is from here, and his daughter is a member, is a staff member at Camp Rama. So I told him, we are frustrated. I think we need to go back home, either to die or let's go die from home. And he said, don't go home, we'll work out everything. And that's when we ended up staying up in the States. And the Jewish Center in New Jersey, like the Rabbi said, is working so hard to make renovations of their apartment to have a place for us to stay. Yeah, that's that. Shana Tova.
Shana Tova. My name is Esau Wanani, and as my friend Jonathan has said, I'm also going to go briefly about what's happening in my country. At this moment, I know would be with our families, celebrating Yom Kippur with everyone. And as Rabbi Micah has been supporting us, especially on these high holidays, and it has been a good time. But because of one family, one person who wants to die in power, if you bring a divergent political idea, he doesn't want. So Museveni, who is the current president of Uganda, has been in power from 1986. So after Idi Amin in 1979, Uganda was going through a political turmoil, and people were desperate to get someone who would save them. And this man came as an angel, promising to refrain everything and the country to start following the rule of law. So he participated in elections, that's around 1981, and he failed. So he decided to go for a guerrilla war, and people supported him. But to cut the story short, from that time up to now, he has been in power for 37 years. And this was time for us, we thought it's time we need to see another president. And many things have gone wrong in our country. Corruption is too much. And he's planning to bring his son to succeed after him. And so when you try to support another part other than his, this is what you go through. So a lot, and Thank you.
So I want to thank Yonatan and Asa for sharing parts of their story. I know it is a complicated story, and we're going to be having them back in the future once they get a little more settled, where we can sit together and talk more and learn their story and be able to ask questions as well. But I'm so grateful for them to be here tonight, and you should know that they just started sharing some of these very painful things that happened to them with other people, and we're very grateful for your courage and proud of your courage for being here tonight and for sharing that. Tomorrow they're going to be spending the day at Kalman Brown Academy teaching about the Abba Yudaya Jewish community, and as I said, we're working on a day to bring them back to TBS to meet with our students and to meet with the whole community so we can learn more about their situation. So stay tuned for that. But for tonight, here's what we can do to help. Asa and Yonatan are currently living in Lebanon, New Jersey, at the home of a member of the Princeton Jewish Center. But they're seeking longer-term housing. And if anyone has any ideas about that, please let me know after the holiday. Also, while they are seeking political asylum, they are not allowed to earn money to live. And this is the main thing that I hope we can help with tonight. We have established a new fund at TBS called Hanetunim B'Tzara, the World Jewry Assistance Fund. The purpose of this fund is to support Jews around the world who are in need, and our first recipients will be Asa and Yonatan. Your tzedakah tonight will go towards helping them provide for their most basic needs: food, clothing, transportation, and possibly housing, while they go through the asylum process, which could take years, but hopefully it'll only be about 6 months or so that they won't be able to work. This is truly an incredible mitzvah that we can do tonight, which can help avert the severity of the decree that Yonatan and Asa have encountered in Uganda. At your seats, I'm sure you've seen these cards, and if you're watching on the live stream, I hope you can see them also. This has all come together rather quickly, so we didn't have time to print real pledge cards with tabs. But we hope that you'll take these cards home, and after the holiday, either send them back to TBS with a donation, or you can go to our website, which is listed on the card, tbsonline.org/worldjewry. Thank you for considering doing this mitzvah of giving tzedakah and helping TBS continue to be a beacon of light to those in need around the world. We named this fund Hanetunim B'Tzara because that means those who are in distress. It comes from a prayer for Jews in distress wherever they might be. And if you turn the card over, you will see the prayer itself, which has a beautiful melody. Cantor Cohn is going to lead us in it. If you know it and you'd like to join in, please do so. And together, let us pray for mercy and healing for all those who are oppressed and seeking redemption in our world.
Achenu kol Beit Yisrael, Achenu kol Beit Yisrael, Hanetunim B'Tzara, B'Tzara ובשביה, העומדים בין בים ובין ביבשה. המקום ירחם, ירחם עליכם, ויוציאם מצרה, לרווחה ומעפל לאורה, ומשעבוד לגאולה השתה בגאולה ובזמן קריב.
Our brothers and sisters, the whole house of Israel, who are in distress and captivity, who wander over sea and over land, may God have mercy on them and bring them from distress to comfort, from darkness to light, from slavery to redemption, now, swiftly and soon. And let us all say, Amen.